Very good evening to all of you. Welcome to today's YouTube live session with me, Surjit Kakkar. Today is Friday, 15th of July, 2022. And before we move ahead, let's get done with the basic formalities. So make sure you people go through the disclosure, which talks about representation, risk disclosure, risk involved in the market, and also about the copyrights. So today's session is about the preview of our latest screener, which is version 1.0. And this is the only screener available for demand and supply trading. Now, I have been getting this request from a lot of people for something similar. And we have been working on it for quite a while, and we were able to create it, just a few days ago. And as of now, you will not be able to subscribe for it. This is just a preview session, but yes, you will be able to subscribe for it within a day or two, right? So we have still not launched it publicly, but I just wanted to go through a preview so that you people can see what is in store for you, and you should be able to subscribe for it in a day or two. All right, so first, how do I get access to the demand and supply screener? Like I already said, currently it is not yet launched, but once it is launched, all you need to do is you will go to our website, and under the products you will be able to find the screener. And once you subscribe for it, from the backend we will activate it for you. And once you get the activation email that the screener has been activated for you, what you need to do is on TradingView, you'll click on the indicator tab on the top, and you will see a tab which will say invite only scripts. And under invite only scripts, you will be able to find demand supply screener 1.0. And once you click on it, the screener will be added to your chart. Here you can see demand supply screener has been added, and then you will be able to use it. So again, it is not yet launched. We will be launching it in a day or two, after which you will be able to subscribe for it. But I just wanted to let you know, once you subscribe for it, how you add it to your chart. That is how simple it is. Again, you just need to click on the indicators tab, invite only scripts. That is where you'll be able to find it. All right, now taken care of how to get access to the demand and supply screener, which will happen in a day or two. So what are the features available on the screener, and why a screener for demand and supply? Now, most of you will be using screeners, which will be either based on fundamental analysis or technical analysis. But everyone knows that when we are planning our trades, if we are able to identify scripts which are already trading inside of demand or supply areas, or coming very close to some demand and supply areas, the probability of finding trading opportunity will increase substantially. And that is where the screener helps you. So the screener will help you identify scripts where you are getting closer to demand areas or supply areas, or maybe you are even trading inside of demand areas and supply areas. So let's look at how this screener can help you. So let's go here. So I'll start with this page. So once you add your screener on the chart, see, by default you will also have the chart available, but what happens is when the screener is identifying scripts for you, can you see it gives you the complete list here, and this list at times can be a pretty big list. So that is why I prefer not to have my charts on the on the screen where I am using my screener, because the charts can overlap with this. So just to avoid that, I just keep my charts hidden. Right now, once the screener is applied, once you click on the settings, by default it will be blank for you, and you can see we have given you options for up to 40 scripts, right? And that's the limitation from TradingView. You cannot add more than 40 scripts. So here what you need to do is you need to give the name of the exchange and the script name or the symbol name. So it is not just for NSE, it can be any market, be that the Indian market, the international market, be that cryptocurrencies, be that even the let's say the indices, the sectors, it can be anything, right? So whatever script you want to be part of the screener, you have to give the name of the exchange and the name of the script. If you make any spelling mistake with this, then yes, it will not be included in the list. So always ensure that you're double checking that the name and the exchange name you have given is correctly. So here you can see I have given 40 scripts, right? And after that, it's the same thing, the options which we have even with the demand and supply zone indicator, what kind of zones it should be identifying, what should be the zoning method, what should be the legend, do you want tested zones, do you want follow through patterns, right? All those things which we discussed just few days back in our demand and supply zone indicator. Next, when it is identifying zones, how many candles should be in the basing, what should be the strength of the leg out, what should be the strength of the leg out in case you're looking at follow through pattern. Now here comes the most important thing, which is the proximity. So what do I mean by proximity? Once a demand zone, so let's imagine once a demand zone has been identified, right? Now I want to know when the prices are coming close to this demand zone. So how close I want that proximity? Should I want that the price should be within 1%, or should I want the price should be when is close to 2% of that demand area or supply area? That is what you can put into this column. Now, if you want to identify zones where prices have already touched or maybe trading inside of those demand and supply areas, then you can give it a 0%, right? So that is how the proximity will work. If you want zones where prices have not yet returned and are almost about to come, I can probably give it, let's say, 0.5%, 1%, 2%, whatever. But if I want something where the prices have already touched the zone, or maybe reacting to the zone, or maybe inside of the zone, then I have to give it 0%. But in that case, always remember, show tested zones should be checked marked, because if the prices have already touched the zone and this is disabled, then it will not identify it, because you have already said I don't want tested zones. So tested zones should be enabled whenever you're using your option, which is the 0, which is for a tested area or an area from where we are getting a reaction. So like you can see, as of now, I have given a list of 40 scripts, and out of those 40 scripts, because I'm on the monthly chart, so it is telling me on which scripts I am in close proximity to the supply zone and on what scripts I'm in close proximity to the demand zone. So if I go to Colpal on the monthly time frame, so if I go here monthly, and let's change this to COLPAL. So you will see in Colpal, because my option was 0, so we would either be reacting to the monthly supply area, or we might be inside of monthly supply area. Can you see, we just touched the monthly supply area this month, and that is why we have that in our list, that we are pretty close to the monthly supply on Colpal. Now similarly, if I go to the next one, which is AB Capital, so AB Capital will be in close proximity with the demand zone. So if I go to ABCAPI, AB Capital, now you will see on the monthly time frame, we are trading inside of that monthly demand area. So can you see how easy it is now for us to identify out of those 40 scripts, which scripts are close to the demand zones or close to the supply zones, or maybe even trading inside of those demand areas or supply areas. Now, since we have a limitation of 40 scripts, what if I want more number of scripts? So that is what you can do. One thing is, example, I can, now those of you who have a free TradingView account, you cannot have a multiple chart layout. So what you can do is, on a single chart, you can apply the indicator 3 times. So example, if I apply the indicator again, give me a minute. Just give me a second. Perfect. So now you can see I have the indicator applied twice. The first one is where I'm getting the list of 40 scripts. The second one is not showing me anything. Why? Because currently it is blank. So if I add new scripts, let's say I add NSC, and one was Colpal, COLPAL, and I'll say I want proximity, in this case was 0, right? Because I want reacting from it. So now what I can do is I can have the indicator applied twice. One can be a list of 40 scripts. The other one can also be a list of another 40 scripts. So that is how now I can have 80 scripts on the same chart. Now this is for those of you who have a free account, because on a free account you cannot have multiple charts layout. Now those of you who can have multiple chart layout, you can do something like this. Can you see, now I have the indicator applied to 6 different charts, and on all of these charts you can see I have a list of 40 scripts. Can you see, here I have my 40 scripts, here I have a different list of 40 scripts, here I have a different list of 40 scripts, here I have a different list, and similarly here I have a different list. So in all, as if now this is looking at 200 scripts and telling me which scripts are closer to the monthly demand or supply areas. Now if I want to see it on the let's say weekly. Now here also I have applied, but here, just for an example, I've applied it to some forex script. So just to show you that this is not just applicable to the Indian NSE market, you can put any script that is available on TradingView. Now if I change the time frame to weekly, now can you see all of this will change to weekly. Now it will take some time, and now you can see it is telling me that Euro GBP and Euro USD are in close proximity to the weekly demand zones. So if I go to Euro GBP, EUR GBP, let's go to Forex and let's change this to all source. And if I go to weekly, you will see that I will be in close proximity. Can you see this week we came into the weekly demand area, we are reacting from it, and can you see how quickly I got to know which scripts are in proximity with the weekly demand zone. Similarly, the other one is Euro USD. So if I go to Euro USD, EUR USD, you will see this will also be in close proximity to some demand zone. So let's bring up more. Can you see we just touched the demand zone probably this week? Yeah, can you see we just touched the demand zone this week and we are getting a reaction, and that is what is happening on Euro USD. So that is how, can you see, it will quickly help you. Now here you can see that for the weekly it is telling me that these are the scripts which are in which are close to weekly supplies or reacting from weekly supplies. We can even be inside of it because I've given my proximity as 0, which means it should be touching or it should be inside of that zone. So if I go to, let's say, Torrent Pharma, you can see we have proximity with supply zone. So if I go TORENT and let's change this to stock and I'll give it as NSC. So now you can see on Torrent Pharma, we will be having proximity with the weekly supply. Can you see? This week, we just touched the weekly supply, and how beautifully I was able to immediately identify scripts which are close to these demand and supply areas. So what time frames can I use it on, right? That's the next question. Now, it can be applied to any time frame, but there are some challenges, and how to overcome those challenges, I'll also help you with that. So the first challenge is, can you see on the monthly, weekly, daily, if I apply, it does not take a very long time because these are bigger time frames. The data available is not a lot of data. Can you see it gets loaded really, really quick? But if you talk about, your account type with TradingView, a person who is having a free account with TradingView, you get data only for 5,000 bars. Person who is having a pro account, you get data for last 10,000 bars. A person who's having a premium account, you get data for almost 20,000 bars. So can you see a person who's having a free account versus a person who's having a paid account? A paid account person has almost 4 times the data available. So what is going to happen when you start going to smaller time frames? There is a lot of data which the indicator has to process, and due to which on smaller time frames at times it might not work for you. It will give you timeout error because it's taking too long to do the calculation. Now, can you see on the daily, we didn't have any issue. On the monthly, we didn't have any issue. On the weekly, we didn't have any issue. But if I now go to a 4-hour chart, now what you will see is for the stock market, I will not be having a lot of challenge, but probably for Forex, because a lot of data is available, you will see that probably for the Forex, it will not be able to load the indicator for me and tell me where am I, close proximity for the 4 hours chart. So let's just wait for some time because you understand it is looking at 40 scripts per chart and plus almost 20,000 bars it is looking at. So definitely it will take some time for shortlisting. So let's give it that time. And then we'll talk about what if I want for the smaller time frames and I'm getting this error, how can I handle it? So I'll give you the alternative to it. So can you see for a 4-hour chart, this is now already loaded. This is already loaded. The other ones, it is still identifying for us. Now, by the time it is identifying, let me show you maybe 1 or 2 more example. So here you can see if I go to PNB will be in close proximity to a demand zone on the 4-hour chart because as of now I'm on 4 hours. So if I go to PNB and perfect. So PNB, can you see we are closer to this demand? We just touched that demand zone today, and that is what my setting is as of now, that I want the scripts where we are reacting from the demand and supply areas or we are already inside of it. That is why the proximity we gave was 0%. Right now you can see the screener is still loading for the Forex list because I told you on the Forex you'll be having a lot of data and it is still loading, and now it might give us an error because of a lot of data that is available. It might not shortlist scripts for us. Now, can you see I got that error? If you look at the error message, can you see it says calculation timed out, remove the indicator and reapply to the chart. Now, even if I remove it and again reapply it, it will not work. Reason is there is a lot of data which has to look into to shortlist scripts for us. So how do we fix this? So to fix this, what you'll have to do is you will have to split your number of scripts into multiple charts. Now, example here you can see I had given around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 maybe. So what I can do is instead of giving 15 scripts in just one indicator, I can split, let's say, 15 into 3 different charts. So 5 on 1, 5 on 1, 5 on 1. So just as an example, here you can see I have given 2 scripts on this one and I have given 2 scripts on this one. Now, even if I go to a 5 minutes chart, you will see it will load very, very quick because only for 2 scripts or 2 symbols, it has to identify zones on the 5 minutes time frame. So now you will see that it will even work on a 5 minutes time frame. So it's not that it is limited to any particular time frame. Can you see it will work on all time frames? But yes, if the number of script is very big, then you'll have to break it down into a smaller number of scripts. So example, you can see GBP USD, we will be close to a 5 minutes supply zone. So let's go to GBP USD, and here I'll go to Forex, and let's change it to all. And on the 5 minutes chart, you will see that we will be closer to some supply zone, probably this supply. And the reason why I'm saying here we will be closer to it, I'll just let you know in a minute. Let the indicator load first. Can you see we have a supply zone? And how close are we? Can you see if I start from here and if I look at the high of the candle, it is around 0.3%. So if you look at the settings I've given here is that I don't want to be touching it. I want to be at least 0.5% close to it. So anything there is 0.5% or less than that, shortlist for me. So can you see it is telling me based on 0.5%. If I change it to, let's say, 0.1%, then it will not find it. Why? Because now this was around 0.3% in proximity. So now this will get removed because this is more than 0.1%. Right, so let's give it some time again to refresh. Can you see now it is not showing? But as soon as I say, okay, I want in proximity, which is, let's say, 0.5%. So now it is 0.5%, and that particular script was within 0.5%. So you can choose how closely you want to be to that zone. You can also choose whether you want the prices to be touching that zone, and that is how you can shortlist. Now, example, if I go to 15 minutes, now it will tell me for 15 minutes. So let's wait for a few seconds and see on which Forex scripts out of these 4 we are in almost 0.5% proximity to some demand areas or to some supply areas. Can you see? None. Now, if I go to hourly, now it will tell me out of these 4 scripts, on which scripts am I within 0.5% proximity to the demand areas or to the supply areas. So let's wait for it. Perfect. So can you see it is telling me Euro USD? We are closer to a demand area, which should be within 0.5% from the high or low of the current candle, because it is demand. So from the low of the current candle, it should be within 0.5%. So if I go to Euro USD, USD, and if I go to the hourly chart, you will see that wherever the demand area is, this low will be within 0.5% of that demand area. So let's wait for so can you see that is where we have our chart. And as of now, my settings are that I'm okay with tested zone. So in a way, we were inside of a tested zone, but otherwise, if I say I don't want tested zone, it will still show me, because you can see the next demand area is also within 0.5%. Can you see? The next one is also within 0.5%, which is 0.15. So I was able to immediately identify scripts which are either getting closer to those area of demand or supply. Let's take another example. Let's say we go to USD Canadian, because here you can see it is telling me we are closer to both demand and supply. So both demand and supply would be within 0.5% from the current candle's high or low. So if we go to USD Canadian dollar, USD CAD, oops, my bad, USD CAD, we need to choose Wanda because that is the exchange I've given here. So if you go to Wanda, so you can see the high is in close proximity to the supply, and you can see when the demand will be within 0.5%. So if I check from here, can you see from the low to the proximal line, you can see we are almost less than 0.5%, which is 0.36%, and that is how I was able to shortlist scripts. So yes, this is what Screener is all about. You can set your list. Now again, I'll add, especially on smaller time frames, yes, you might have to create a smaller list on multiple charts. But yes, this will immediately help you in identifying scripts which are closer to the demand areas or closer to the supply areas. And like I was saying, it is not yet launched. This was just a preview session. It will be getting launched within a day or two. And once it is launched, you will be able to subscribe for it from our website. Now, one more thing. When you subscribe for the demand supply zone screener, you will also get complimentary access to the demand supply zone indicator during your subscription, during your screener subscription period. So I do understand that if you subscribe for the screener, but you don't see the formation of the demand and supply zones on the chart, how does it help you, right? Because now you'll have to manually identify the zones. So if you are going for the screener, not to worry, you don't have to subscribe for the demand and supply zone indicator separately. It will be provided to you complimentary during your screener subscription period, right? So once your screener subscription expires, your access to the demand and supply zone indicator will also expire. All right, so that was today's session, which was about the latest edition of the tools we have, which probably I'm very sure would be helping you in making your trading simplified. And yes, I will also be doing this session in Hindi probably in few hours. So yes, within a day or two, you should be able to subscribe for it. Again, thank you so much for joining in. I will see you now probably, yes, I will be seeing you in some hours, but then I'll also be seeing you on Sunday where we'll do our weekly analysis session. So again, thank you so much for joining in. Take care. Bye-bye.